The glittering lights of Hollywood have long been known to cast deep and unpredictable shadows, especially over the youngest souls who find themselves thrust into its blinding glare. For decades, the narrative of the child star has followed a tragically familiar trajectory, one marked by early adoration, sudden overwhelming wealth, and an inevitable, heart-wrenching descent into the chaotic pitfalls of premature maturity. We have watched countless young talents lose their way in the maze of Tinseltown, struggling to find their footing once the cameras stop rolling and the applause fades into a haunting silence. The industry can be an uncompromising machine, demanding everything from a child and leaving very little room for a normal, grounded upbringing. Yet, every so often, amidst the cautionary tales that populate the history of the entertainment capital, a completely different kind of story emerges, a narrative of resilience, balance, and an unbreakable bond that defies the heavy odds stacked against it. It is a story that reminds us that even within the high-stakes environment of global blockbusters, genuine human connection and a humble spirit can prevail over the superficial allure of endless fame. Before we dive deeper into this remarkable journey of survival and enduring friendship in the heart of Hollywood, take a quick moment to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an incredible story like this one. To truly understand the depth of this unique bond, we must travel back to an era when the cinematic landscape was about to be completely transformed by an audacious, high-energy family adventure. The year was 2001, a time when the world was looking for fresh, imaginative storytelling that could capture the hearts of both children and adults alike. Enter a groundbreaking cinematic phenomenon that introduced global audiences to a world of high-tech gadgets, hidden family secrets, and extraordinary young heroes. The film centered around the seemingly ordinary Cortez family, whose mundane exterior masked a spectacular past as elite international secret agents. When the parents, played with suave sophistication by Antonio Banderas and Carla Gugino, suddenly vanished under mysterious circumstances, it fell upon their two preteen children to step out of the shadows of normalcy and into the dangerous, exhilarating world of espionage. This was not just a movie, it was a cultural explosion that captured the global imagination, blending vibrant visuals with a heartfelt message about the ultimate strength of family unity. At the very center of this whirlwind were two incredibly young actors who had no idea how drastically their lives were about to change. A 12-year-old girl with an undeniable spark and fierce determination, and a 7-year-old boy with a mop of curly hair and an endearing, relatable innocence were chosen to embody these iconic roles. PenaVega and Daryl Sabara became Carmen and Junie Cortez, the ultimate brother and sister spy duo. Almost overnight, their faces were plastered on billboards across the globe, their names became household staples, and they were thrust into a grueling schedule of promotional tours, red carpet premieres, and intense filming schedules. The movie did not just succeed, it skyrocketed into a massive blockbuster, spawning a multi-million-dollar trilogy that would define a generation of youth cinema. For these two children, the playground was replaced by bustling movie sets, and their peers were no longer classmates, but Hollywood heavyweights and visionary directors. It was an environment that could easily distort a young person's perception of reality, creating an artificial world where validation is tied entirely to box office performance. Living through such an intense, hyper-visible childhood creates a very specific kind of psychological landscape, an experience so unique that only an incredibly select few can ever truly comprehend it. While the rest of the world looked at them through the lens of stardom and envy, Alexa and Daryl were navigating the complex transition from childhood to adolescence under a microscope. They shared long hours on set, endured the physical demands of performing their own complex stunts, and bore the heavy responsibility of carrying a massive commercial franchise on their young shoulders. This shared reality forged a deep, silent understanding between them, a protective sanctuary of mutual experience that protected them from the isolation that so often plagues young performers. They were not just co-stars playing siblings on the silver screen, they were two real children walking hand in hand through a beautiful, chaotic Hollywood thunderstorm, anchoring each other when the winds of fame threatened to blow them off course. As the years rolled on and the initial cinematic trilogy drew to a triumphant close, grossing a staggering $500 million worldwide, the industry naturally began to wonder what would become of its beloved young heroes. History dictated that the road ahead would be fraught with professional identity crises, personal struggles, and the difficult challenge of outgrowing the characters that had made them famous. The transition from a celebrated child star to a respected adult actor is notoriously difficult, and the temptation to chase the fleeting high of early fame can lead many down a self-destructive path. Yet, as the cameras stopped rolling on their spy adventures, both Alexa and Daryl quietly chose a path less traveled by their Hollywood contemporaries. They chose to prioritize their humanity over their celebrity, seeking out normal, fulfilling lives away from the constant scrutiny of the paparazzi. They stepped back from the blinding spotlight to figure out who they were outside of the Cortez family legacy, embarking on individual journeys of self-discovery that would eventually lead them to a place of profound peace, stability, and unexpected fulfillment. Today, a quarter of a century after they first stepped onto that fateful movie set, the lives they have built are a beautiful, refreshing testament to the power of grounded values and strong family foundations. Now well into their 30s, both Alexa and Daryl have successfully transitioned into the most demanding and rewarding roles of their lives, roles that have nothing to do with script read-throughs or Hollywood directors. They have become parents, focusing their immense energy and passion on raising their own children in environments filled with love, stability, and a deep appreciation for the simple things in life. Despite the massive wealth and lingering fame from their early careers, they have intentionally chosen to live surprisingly normal lives, deliberately shielding their families from the toxic elements of the entertainment industry. Their enduring connection, which began in the innocent days of 2001, has evolved from a childhood partnership into a profound, lifelong adult friendship rooted in a shared history that time and distance could never erase. They remain an unbreakable pillar of support for one another, a rare and shining example of survival and grace in a town known for breaking even the strongest spirits. The journey from the blinding glare of Hollywood stardom to the serene, grounded reality of everyday family life is a path rarely successfully traveled by those who find fame in their earliest years. Yet, for Alexa PenaVega and Daryl Sabara, this transition was not a chaotic retreat, but a deliberate and graceful evolution into adulthood. Today, Alexa is a 37-year-old mother of three, possessing a wisdom that can only be forged through navigating the complex highs and lows of the entertainment capital from a tender age. Her younger on-screen brother, Daryl, now 34, has similarly embraced a life centered around the profound responsibilities of fatherhood. The two individuals who once captured the global imagination by flying through the air on high-tech gadgets and outsmarting cinematic villains are now deeply immersed in the beautiful, chaotic, and incredibly humbling world of raising young children. The superficial allure of red carpets and Hollywood prestige has been completely replaced by the authentic, daily rewards of changing diapers, packed lunches, and bedtime stories, proving that their greatest achievements were never meant to be confined to a movie screen. In a heartwarming manifestation of their enduring bond, the former child stars recently reunited for a cause that perfectly reflects their shared values and their deep affection for the younger generation. Last Wednesday, the duo left behind their comfortable routines to volunteer at a summer camp operated by the Salvation Army, an organization that has long held a very special place in Alexa's heart. This was no mere celebrity appearance or superficial photo opportunity. The two actors immediately rolled up sleeves and were put to hard work in the bustling dining hall, serving hot, nutritious meals to a large crowd of hungry young campers. They completely immersed themselves in the camp environment, participating in high-energy outdoor games, sharing stories, and bringing an immense amount of pure joy to children who come from deeply underserved and underprivileged communities across the region. For these kids, many of whom face significant daily hardships and come from various difficult walks of life, the presence of these two warm, attentive adults was a bright beacon of happiness, offering them a temporary escape into a world of fun and care. To the absolute surprise of both Alexa and Daryl, a remarkable phenomenon occurred during their time at the summer camp, one that highlighted the incredible, timeless legacy of the franchise that defined their own youth. Despite the fact that the young campers, who ranged in age from 8 to 12 years old, were not even close to being born when the original movie took the world by storm a quarter of a century ago, they instantly recognized the two actors. The enduring popularity of the cinematic trilogy has allowed it to transcend generational boundaries, finding a permanent home on modern streaming platforms and in the hearts of new generations of young viewers. Daryl expressed his profound amazement and gratitude at this reality, noting how incredibly special it feels to realize that a project they poured their hearts into so many years ago continues to live on, bringing smiles and inspiration to families today. Seeing the pure excitement on the faces of these children as they realized that Carmen and Junie Cortez were standing right in front of them, serving them food and playing games with them, created an atmosphere charged with genuine magic and deep emotional resonance. This shared experience at the camp provided a beautiful backdrop for the two lifelong friends to reflect deeply on the unique nature of their upbringing and the unbreakable foundation of their relationship. In an exclusive, deeply personal interview, Alexa opened up about the profound connection that continues to tie them together after all these decades, explaining that they walked through a highly unusual childhood experience that very few people in the world could ever truly comprehend or relate to. They grew up under conditions that were entirely separate from the normal trajectory of youth, yet their respective families managed to instill in them remarkably similar, deeply grounded values that kept them steady. This parallel upbringing created a deep, subconscious bond that operates on a level far beyond standard Hollywood friendships, allowing them to remain completely aligned in their worldviews. Even as the years passed and their individual lives took different directions, they share a history that functions as a protective sanctuary, a mutual understanding of what it means to be universally recognized, yet completely focused on what truly matters in life. As the conversation turned toward the present day, it became wonderfully evident that the sibling dynamic they portrayed so convincingly on the silver screen has beautifully transformed into a supportive, collaborative partnership in the realm of parenting. Daryl, who shares 3 beautiful children with his A-list pop star wife Meghan Trainor, revealed that he constantly turns to Alexa as a vital source of parenting wisdom, guidance, and emotional support. Raising their 5-year-old son Riley, 2-year-old son Barry, and their newest addition, a 5-month-old daughter named Mikey, in the modern world is an immense challenge, and Daryl finds incredible comfort in having a trusted confidante who has already navigated these waters. Because Alexa started her own family several years before him, she has become a foundational mentor for him, always ready to offer practical advice or a reassuring word whenever he encounters the inevitable hurdles of fatherhood. Daryl expressed an immense amount of gratitude for the fact that his lifelong friend became a parent first, allowing him to lean heavily on her extensive experience and compassionate understanding as he figures out his own path as a father. Hearing Daryl's heartfelt words of appreciation sparked an incredibly emotional response from Alexa, who could barely contain her immense pride and admiration for the incredible man and father her former co-star has become. She gushed enthusiastically about his parenting skills, described him as an absolute super dad who effortlessly wears many different hats and balances an incredible number of responsibilities with grace, talent, and unwavering dedication. Alexa noted that watching the little boy she once protected on movie sets grow into such a deeply loving, attentive, and incredibly capable father has been one of the greatest joys of her adult life. The mutual respect between them was palpable, causing Daryl to humorously note that he wasn't supposed to cry during the interview, before warmly reflecting the praise right back at her. This genuine display of affection and vulnerability highlighted the absolute absence of Hollywood ego between them, revealing instead a deep, pure, and enduring familial love that has successfully weathered 25 years of immense industry pressure and profound personal change, solidifying their status as true exceptions to the standard Tinseltown narrative. To witness such a deep and genuine connection survive the turbulent currents of time and fame is a rare privilege, particularly within an industry that so frequently fractures relationships and distorts personal identities. The beautiful reality of what Alexa PenaVega and Daryl Sabara have achieved extends far beyond their individual survival. It lives on in the healthy, vibrant families they have built completely independent of their Hollywood pasts. Alexa's own household is a bustling testament to this commitment to a balanced life. Alongside her husband, Carlos PenaVega, who experienced his own slice of youth stardom as a member of the wildly popular musical group and television show Big Time Rush, she is raising 3 wonderful children, 9-year-old Ocean, 6-year-old Kingston, and their 4-year-old daughter, Rio. By combining their shared understandings of the unique pressures of early fame, Alexa and Carlos have intentionally constructed a family environment rooted in faith, simple pleasures, and an absolute dedication to shielding their little ones from the superficiality of the entertainment spotlight, ensuring their children enjoy the normal, unburdened childhood they deserve. On the other side of this lifelong friendship, Daryl's family life reflects a strikingly similar devotion to simplicity and grounded values, despite his marriage to one of the most recognizable voices in global pop music. Together with his multi-platinum, A-list wife Meghan Trainor, Daryl has created a peaceful, joyful home in California for their 3 children, Riley, Barry, and infant daughter Mikey. What makes their family dynamic so profoundly refreshing to observe is how completely detached they remain from the chaotic news cycles and relentless gossip columns that typically plague couples of their celebrity stature. Daryl recently shared a wonderfully endearing glimpse into their private world, revealing that he and Megan have recently developed a deep, passionate love for what he describes as actual camping, the kind of authentic, rustic outdoor adventure that involves packing up gear, setting up tents, and completely disconnecting from the digital grid. For a couple that operates at the very highest levels of global entertainment, the choice to take their young children out into the raw beauty of nature, to intentionally get outdoors, breathe fresh mountain air, and touch some grass, represents a conscious and beautiful effort to stay deeply connected to reality. This intentional pursuit of normalcy and active community service is exactly what brought both Alexa and Daryl back together at the Salvation Army summer camp, an experience that beautifully illustrates why their enduring legacy matters so much in the broader cultural landscape. Alexa has quietly dedicated a significant portion of her adult life to volunteering with the organization, consistently using her platform to support their extensive humanitarian efforts across the United States. Her deep love for children, combined with Daryl's matching heart for service, made their participation in the camp a natural extension of who they have become as people. The fact that the iconic Spy Kids franchise has stood the test of time so magnificently, allowing them to bring tangible, immediate joy to a new generation of underprivileged children, is something neither actor takes for granted. For the young campers coming from difficult backgrounds, seeing these real-life heroes step completely out of the silver screen to serve them breakfast and share a laugh provided an unforgettable reminder that they are seen, valued, and cared for by people who genuinely care about their well-being. When we look back at the incredible trajectory of the original 2001 film and its subsequent sequels, The Island of Lost Dreams and Game Over, it becomes clear that the magic of those movies was not just found in the futuristic gadgets or the thrilling espionage plots crafted by director Robert Rodriguez. The true, lasting magic lay in the authentic, palpable chemistry between a 12-year-old girl who performed her own daring stunts and a 7-year-old boy who brought an unmatched sincerity to the screen. That cinematic bond was so powerful because it was built on a foundation of real friendship, mutual respect, and a shared innocence that survived the intense pressure of a global box office triumph. The trilogy did not just entertain millions of families, it forged a lifelong partnership between two young souls who refused to let the heavy machinery of Hollywood dictate the terms of their futures or erode the core of their humanity. Ultimately, the journey of Alexa PenaVega and Daryl Sabara serves as a beautiful and profoundly inspiring blueprint for what is possible when young talents prioritize character, family, and humility over the fleeting allure of industry adulation. They have shattered the tragic stereotypes so often associated with child stardom, proving that it is entirely possible to walk through the fiery furnace of early fame and emerge completely whole, balanced, and filled with gratitude. As they continue to navigate the rewarding paths of parenthood, leaning on one another for wisdom and sharing their blessings with those who need it most, they remain a shining example of grace in a world that sorely needs it. Their story is a powerful reminder that the most significant roles we ever play are never the ones written into a Hollywood script, but the ones we live out every single day in our homes, within our communities, and in the quiet, enduring loyalty we show to the friends who have walked beside us from the very beginning.